It was supposed to be a winter trip. 9 experienced hikers, 1 remote mountain. A journey that should have ended with stories of adventure. Instead, every member of the group would be found dead. 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, an engineering student with a lot of hiking experience, organized a trip across the Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. His team consisted of university students and experienced outdoor enthusiasts, all trained for difficult winter trips. Their goal was ambitious, but achievable. The route covered hundreds of kilometers through snowy forests and exposed mountain slopes. Completing it would earn the hikers one of the highest hiking certifications available in the Soviet Union. The group originally had 10 members. Before reaching the most dangerous section of the trip, one hiker got sick and decided to turn back. That decision would unknowingly save his life. The remaining 9 hikers continued deeper into one of the most isolated regions of the Soviet Union. By February 1st, the weather had gotten worse. Strong winds, blowing snow, and near-zero visibility made navigation difficult. Instead of descending into a sheltered forest, the hikers pitched their tent on the exposed eastern slope of Kholat Syakhl. The mountain's name comes from the Mansi language. It roughly translates to Dead Mountain. While the name sounds ominous, it likely referred to the lack of wildlife rather than anything supernatural. Still, history would give the name a darker meaning. The group prepared for the night. They ate dinner, wrote in their journals, organized their gear. Nothing suggested that within hours every one of them would be dead. Weeks passed with no word from the expedition. At first, no one was concerned. Delays were common during winter expeditions. As more time passed, families got worried. Search teams were finally sent into the mountains. What they found was not what they expected. The hiker's tent was still standing. Mostly, it had partially collapsed beneath drifting snow. The strangest detail wasn't the damaged tent, it was how they had left it. Investigators found long slashes cut through the side of the tent, from the inside. Instead of using the entrance, someone had desperately cut their way out. Inside the tent were boots, heavy coats, food, cameras, blankets, nearly everything needed to survive temperatures below negative 30 degrees Celsius. The hikers had abandoned all of it. Footprints led away from the campsite. Some hikers had been barefoot, others wore only socks. A few had just one boot. The tracks stretched toward a forest over a kilometer away. Oddly, there were no signs of panic. The footprints showed people walking rather than running. Whatever frightened them was serious enough to force them into the darkness, yet somehow they remained calm enough to move. That contradiction remains one of the greatest mysteries of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The first bodies were found beneath a cedar tree. 2 hikers had tried to survive by building a fire. Broken branches above suggested they had climbed the tree. Possibly searching for the tent or watching for danger, they eventually froze to death. A distance away, investigators found Igor Dyatlov himself. He seemed to have been crawling toward the campsite. Another teammate was found nearby, then another. Each appeared to be trying to return to the tent. None made it. Months later, after the snow began melting, the remaining 4 hikers were finally discovered inside a ravine. Unlike the first victims, these hikers had severe injuries. One had massive chest fractures. Another suffered a devastating skull injury. One woman, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. Despite the force of the injuries, investigators found surprisingly little external damage. No deep cuts, no obvious crushing wounds. It was as though an immense pressure had acted on their bodies without breaking the skin. Some experts compared the injuries to those seen in major car crashes. There was no vehicle, no explosion, no obvious cause. The strange evidence didn't end there. Some clothing tested positive for elevated levels of radiation. Several witnesses reported seeing glowing orange lights in the sky around the same time. Official documents were partially classified. Rumors spread rapidly. The Soviet Union offered few public answers. The mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident only deepened. Over the decades, many theories emerged. Some believed the hikers encountered escaped prisoners. Others blamed secret military weapons tests. Some suggested they had witnessed classified experiments. Paranormal explanations included UFOs, mysterious creatures, and unexplained forces hidden within the mountains. These theories captured the public's imagination. Most, however, lack convincing evidence. Today, researchers generally focus on natural explanations. One of the leading theories is a slab avalanche. Unlike the enormous avalanches often shown in movies, slab avalanches can involve relatively small sections of compacted snow suddenly breaking loose. Researchers suggest shifting snow placed dangerous pressure against the tent. Believing they were in immediate danger, the hikers cut through the fabric to escape as quickly as possible. After leaving the tent, they headed toward the forest for shelter. In darkness and brutal winds, they became separated. Some froze while trying to return. Others sought protection inside the ravine, where falling snow or collapsing ice may have caused the devastating injuries. In 2020, Russian prosecutors concluded that this was the most likely explanation. Computer simulations later supported that specific snow conditions could produce similar injuries. But not everyone is convinced. Critics argue that several details remain difficult to explain. Why were the footprints still visible if an avalanche had swept through? Why was the tent only partially buried? Why were some injuries so severe while others showed almost none at all? Perhaps the biggest question remains unchanged. What convinced 9 experienced hikers to leave behind nearly everything they needed to survive? No single explanation answers every detail. More than 6 decades later, the Dyatlov Pass Incident continues to fascinate investigators around the world. It has inspired books, documentaries, scientific studies, films, and endless debate across the internet. Each new analysis brings us closer to understanding what happened. Yet every answer seems to leave another mystery behind. Perhaps one day new evidence will finally solve the case. Perhaps the freezing slopes of Kholat Shakal will keep their secret forever. Whatever happened that night, 9 experienced hikers entered those mountains expecting adventure. None of them ever returned. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of history's most enduring unsolved mysteries.